Mic check 1 2 1 2. Welcome back, everybody. We are here for the attempted third time here at Miami for tonight at Motive for the F1 League. We've had a bit of a difficult night getting things underway, but we should hopefully be fixed up and ready to go. For the Grand Prix itself, we had 2 attempts at a qualifying session. Let's hope that we can get the race done at the first attempt. Fingers crossed, all being well, we should be able to do that. We saw Cameron putting it on pole ahead of Tezza with A. Thompson third and Senna very close behind him, 4th place. It was a very close qualifying session. The Mutsnuts wasn't too far away either. There was only 3 tenths, I think, separating the top 5 drivers. So a very, very tight qualifying session and a bit of difference in terms of strategy as well, which is going to play a big part here. So Cameron and Senna both going for the hard tyres, so they're looking to go for a long first stint. Tezza, A. Thompson and the Mutsnuts all going aggressive here for this first stint, all putting the mediums on, which will mean that they'll be, well, it's a no-brainer that the Mutsnuts will be wanting to get Senna off the line, and I imagine that Tezza and A. Thompson, in order to maximise their strategy, will need to get themselves ahead of Cameron as well. But whether or not they're going to be able to do that is going to be another question, as we're coming down the back straight here. And they'll just have a couple of corners to go until they pull up onto the starting grid. We're now very near the end of the lap here for the formation lap. Big surprise, we've got Dino very much out of position. A quick driver is Dino, but we'll be starting in P14 for tonight, so he'll be looking to try and make up places as much as he can in the first couple of laps. Who else has we got out of position? It'd be interesting to see Papa Sconch coming back from 7th place, but a great qualifying by Sean, P6. Right on the fringes of the top 5, who were so close in that qualifying session. Obviously the Mutsnuts, your championship leader coming into tonight, and consistency has really been his thing. Now can he continue on with that momentum and really be pushing for those top spots once again here at Miami, as we're lining up at the head of the grid here, moments away from the start of round 3 for season 6 here at Motive on the PlayStation platform here on the EA Sports F1 game. The lights coming on now at the head of the grid. We're about to go racing here, and it's, oh, I thought it was lights out. It's lights out now. We're underway. And Cameron didn't get a great start. Does Tezza get him into turn 1? He's looking up the inside but can't make a move there. A. Thompson looking to try and hold it around the outside of Tezza but can't do it. It's As We Worth coming through the first few corners. We're Senna there ahead of the Mutsnuts. And we've got a collision there. Oh, there's a McLaren in the wall. That's huge damage there. Mr. Basil was the car who went straight piling into that barrier. But Cameron's still ahead of Tezza. We've got caution already. Is it going to be a VSC, potentially a VSC or a safety car? It's about to be deployed here, but Dino's got a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. Did he gain a few positions there? I'm not sure. Mr. Basil, though, the car who took an absolute battering there. He's missing his front wing. As you see Sean there moving ahead of him, but what a disastrous start there for Mr. Basil. Virtual safety car. If that lasts for the rest of the lap, then he could get lucky here in terms of he won't lose as much time as he otherwise would have, but he'll probably need to pit again because you can't get a set of hard tyres to the end from here. I wouldn't have thought 28 laps around this circuit on the hards. I reckon even on the hard tyres it's a bit beyond reach, but I never say never, but I just don't think it's possible. But the order very much as it was, I think. Not really many changes. The top 5 exactly as they were in qualifying. Sean and Louise has moved up a few places, and so has Dino. Actually, they're the big ones. Dino from the back of the grid up into 7th, so he did absolute bits going through the first few corners. As Sean Louise is out of the race, so Sean has DNF. Not quite sure what's happened there then, but we're down to 13 drivers here already in this race, and Cameron's been passed by Tezza. Tezza make the move for the lead of the race, obviously on the medium tyres there. Tezza needed to make that move as soon as he could, and he's gone and made it happen just before the virtual safety car was deployed for Sean's incident. So Tezza there making that move in the nick of time and leads this race right now, but VSC deployed, who's going to come into the pits and get a fresh set of boots on without getting too much time loss. You can see there that Dino and V10 Ultra are both in the pits here at the end of lap 1. But what strategy are you going to go with? Because it's too far out to put a set of the hards on, and V10 Ultra can't put the hards on because he started on the hards. So what's he going to go with? But Dino in the pits nonetheless, and Mr. Basil's out of the race as well. So we've lost 2 drivers now from this session, as Freddie's also coming into the pits, and he's having to wait behind his teammate because Dino and Freddie both in the Williams team. V10 Ultra's put a set of the mediums on. Dino's putting the mediums on as well. And no, V's and Ultras on the hards again, another set of hards. Freddie's gone on to the mediums. But a chaotic start to this race. And Tezamos is your leader ahead of Cameron with A. Thompson in 3rd place. And then you've got Senna not too far behind them, currently in 4th place, not too far behind A. Thompson. At this point, oh, Cameron's got done for a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC. And so's Tezamos, I think, as well. Is Tezamos' penalty a similar infringement, or is that track limits? It'd be quite early to get a track limits warning, or even a penalty, should I say. So I'm not sure if it's that. Senna's disconnected again for the 3rd time tonight. He will be able to get back in because he's not the host this time. But his AI is currently in control of the car, so he wanted to get himself back in as quickly as he possibly can to avoid any situations where he might obviously lose places. So I've just sent him an invite. But yeah, not ideal for him at all. But it's Tezamos ahead of Cameron with A. Thompson on the back of him. Cameron's coming into the pits here, so he's maybe serving his penalty. No, he can't be serving his penalty because it's a... Oh, he is serving his penalty because it's a drive-through. Of course he is. Duh. So yeah, he's just getting that done and out of the way as quickly as he possibly can. So there goes Cameron. The pack is already really spaced out here. But T's got Andrew on the back of him. Papa Squanch there running just behind them. You got Sean not too far away off of them as well. As Sean's trying to hunt down. He's on the back of Cameron here, so Cameron's come out just ahead of Sean as he's now looking to the inside. Oh, he's being squeezed to the edge of the track there. Cameron on slightly colder tyres, having had to drive through the pits. Obviously, you don't really... Your tyres do tend to lose a bit of temperature when you're driving at 60 kilometres an hour down the pit lane, but Cameron managing to hold on ahead of that guy Sean for the time being then and maintain 8th place. Now he can try and attack in the back of Papa Squanch. It's going to be interesting to see where he can get back to here in this race, Cameron. Is he going to try and make those hard tyres last 27 laps? I have a feeling that might be a bit of a tall order for him, but it's not impossible. I've seen stranger things happen. Cameron there making the move and breezes past Papa Squanch. Up the inside he goes and moves himself into 7th place. Beautifully done there from Cameron. Up another position there. But it's Tezamos leading the race by nearly 2 seconds here at A. Thompson. He's putting out that gap. Mutts Nuts has got ahead of Senna up into 3rd place. Senna's AI still in control of the car, but Senna's got himself back in the session, so he should be back at the wheel in a second. Hopefully, all things being well, he should be back in control of that car in just a moment. But Cameron now eyeing up Andrew Pittsmith. He's going to make it 2 moves in the space of a couple of long straights here. There goes Cameron down the inside. He's got it done well before the corner and up into P6. Although Andrew Pittsmith dive bombs him there going to the penultimate corner, but Cameron manages to get the cut back on him, moves himself into P6, and Andrew's lost a couple of places there. Papa Squanch and that guy Sean moving themselves through ahead of Andrew. So Andrew there going for gold and ended up losing 2 places as Tez has come into the pits to serve his drive-through and he's now back out on the track. Where is he going to come out in relation to the other driver who came in for the drive-through? Obviously Cameron looks like he comes out just ahead of Cameron, so those two now nip and tuck here. But it's given A. Thompson a convincing lead out the front, and it's given Mr. the Mutts Nuts P2. Oh no, it hasn't, because the Mutts Nuts has spun it, so he's dropped down to 3rd place there. Just as I was saying, Mr. Consistent, currently running in a podium spot again. He's still running in a podium spot, but that's put him on the back foot a little bit there. He's now well off of the back of Senna, and Senna back at the wheel here. 6 seconds off for the race lead, but with the top 2 obviously having to come in for drive-through penalties, it means that A. Thompson is now well out in front as Cameron's now, Tezamos are now breezing around the outside of T, but T's going to dive down the inside. He goes too late on the brakes and he's going to go wide into the corner, and that's going to give Cameron P5, and Papa Squanch also moving through here. And is Sean going to be able to get T as well? He is possibly going to be able to make a move on him here. He's holding it around the outside. T going late on the brakes there, just squeezing him out of the way. Bit of contact there between the 2 of them, but T managing to hold onto that P7 for the time being there. Cameron on the back of Tezamos right now. These two, they were 1 and 2 at the end of the first lap. They're now 4th and 5th because they both had drive-through penalties for speeding under the VSC. But here goes Cameron, DRS wide open now. He's going to look to the inside. This is surely going to be an easy move here for Cameron. Down the inside he goes. Tezamos gives him the space and Cameron moves himself through up into 4th place. The positions changed once again here between these guys, but Cameron into 4th place now can try and chase down the Mutts Nuts for that final podium place just in front of him as they come over the line here to complete lap 4 of the race. But the Mutts Nuts, after inheriting a podium place due to the guys in front of him having drive-throughs, managed to spin it when he was in P2. It gave Senna P2 in this race for the time being, and he could be vulnerable here, the Mutts Nuts, to Cameron and Tezamos, who are coming after him very, very quickly at the moment. Obviously running P3 at the moment is the Mutts Nuts, championship leader as I said earlier on, but can he hold on to that championship lead over the course of tonight? It's not going to be easy for him at all. But Tez and Muzz are still trying to home in on the back of the Mutsnuts and Cameron at the moment. You've also got Sean, who's pressuring back of T in this battle for 7th place. Obviously T made that mistake on that previous lap, which dropped him a little bit off at the back of where he was before. He was on the back of the Mutsnuts, battling over P3 a lap or so ago. He's now running in P7 and struggling to hold on to that. Sean here with the DRS wide open here. He's going to make the move down the inside. It's going to be easy pickings there for Sean up into 7th place. And the Mutsnuts and Cameron having a bit of a dice here. Cameron all over the back of the Mutsnuts as well. As they come into the final part of the lap here, he just tags them all a little bit there, just Cameron. All the Mutsnuts though very slidey there on the exit. Here we come out onto the back straight, and Cameron getting a sloppy run coming out of that corner, which would have affected his run, and he's essentially not going to be close enough with the DRS to get a proper go at the Mutsnuts down into this straight. So the Mutsnuts will hold on to 3rd place for the time being. Tez and Muzz are a bit closer to Cameron, but Cameron obviously having the DRS on the Mutsnuts helps him out a little bit, saves his blushes there. Otherwise it could have been a sitting duck there to Tez and Muzz as well. But these three still battling, and Cameron's coming into the pits again. So Cameron coming in for another pit stop. Surely he's going to be needing to put the... well, did he start? He started on the hard. He's retired from the race. What's going on? Cameron's bailed out. Why is he retired? What's he doing that for? What on earth is going on here? Cameron's just retired the car. He was in an okay position. He could have... What on earth is he doing? Oh, I mean, that's... Could have done a couple of soft stints and, I don't know, done something. Not retired a car. Bloody hell, it's lap 6. But anyway, Tez and Muzz are on the back of the Mutsnuts here. And DRS open here for the Aston Martin. Looks to the outside. Mutsnuts defends the inside, but he's going to be powerless to do anything about that because the straight line speed of the DRS from the Aston Martin takes Tez and Muzz well past him before we get to the corner. Tez and Muzz into the podium places. Job done. Easy pickings once again there. And he can now try and chase down Senna, who's 6 seconds up the road. He's 12 seconds off of the lead right now. Is Tez and Muzz. Has he got the pace to win this race still? 23 laps left to go. He'd have to average about half a second a lap quicker than our race leader. A little bit more than half a second a lap quicker, probably about 6/10 a lap every lap to the end of the Grand Prix. He'd have to average quicker than A. Thompson if he's to have a solid chance of winning this race. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be very, very difficult indeed. But a long way to go, as I've said. The Mutsnuts running in 4th place, just under a second off of the back of Tez and Muzz at this point. Everybody's kind of a bit strung out at the moment. There aren't really too many battles going on at this stage here in the Miami Grand Prix here at Motive for Season 6. Obviously round 3 here on the EA Sports F1 game. And you can see them all going into turn 1. Andrew Pittsmith's coming into the pits here at the end of lap 6. Cameron says got put in a wall and then destroyed by a pen. Oh, was that on the... as you came into the pits? I didn't notice that, but I saw you come in and then retire the car, which was a bit strange. But Andrew nonetheless here putting a fresh front wing on the front of the Alpine, and off and away he goes again. And currently Mutsnuts has made a bit of a mistake here, I think, because he's dropped back into the clutch of the T. What's happened here? Mutsnuts has got no front wing, has he? I don't think he has. No. Mutsnuts is missing his front wing, so he's had a big whack with the wall somewhere out there on this lap, and he's going to lose out to T surely in a moment's time. T's backing well away from him here, I wonder why. But yeah, Mutsnuts is going to be limping around towards the pit lane on this particular lap. T there a bit deep, going through that left-hander. It just seems a bit tentative to pull up onto the back of the Mutsnuts here, but Mutsnuts is going to be going nowhere fast at this point. He will be in at the end of this lap. Freddie coming on the back of Andrew, knocking on the door of a points paying position here. As you can see him getting closer and closer. DRS wide open, pulls out the slipstream now, breezes past Andrew like he's not even there up into P10. He's still on the back right now, the Mutsnuts, as they're coming into the final section. You can see here the Mutsnuts coming into the pits, obviously, because what other option does he have at this point? Still a long way to go in this race, but not really many battles going on. There's kind of a bit sparse in terms of actual will-to-will action at this point. Dying up into P7, obviously, with the Mutsnuts coming into the pits. New front wing going on the front of the AlphaTauri. He's put a set of softs on, so he's clearly going for a short, sharp stint here. Can he do 2 soft stints from here to the end? Potentially. He'd have to do 11 laps on each set of tyres, which might be a bit of a push. I think maybe he's going to have to go for a soft and then a medium Andrew Pitsmith here into the pits, is putting a set of mediums on. 21 laps still to go, so he'll need to come in after that for another set of tyres, probably the softs for his final stint, I would have thought. In the meantime, Senna is closing the gap a little bit here to A. Thompson. The gap's now 5.3. The last time I looked it was about 6.5, so over the last maybe 2 or 3 laps I think Senna's closed about a second, so this could be one to watch as it just develops over the course of the Grand Prix. Obviously he's not gaining hand over fist, but he's just making little gains here and there which could have an impact in the latter stages. But definitely at this stage in the race I'd say that Senna's got a pace over A. Thompson, and you've got to also factor in that A. Thompson's on the faster tyres as well, so Senna's definitely in a good position to win this race, that's for sure. Tezamaza running in 3rd place on the medium tyres. He's about 12 seconds off the lead. That's been the situation I think for the last few laps, so nothing really has changed there to be honest with you. Havascorn still going in 4th place. He's got about a second of a gap right now over Sean. And I'm just noticing here that Senna's gained about 2 seconds on this lap alone. So has A. Thompson hit the wall or something? Has he had a bit of a moment and maybe got a bit of damage on the front of the car? Because whatever the case, it appears that Senna's taking chunks out of him right now as A. Thompson just extends the gap going down this long straight by about 0.3 of a second. But Senna seems to have the ascendancy right now in this race. A bit more confidence maybe in his car at this stage, as A. Thompson has led the race obviously since we saw the drive-through penalties coming into play for Tezza and Cameron. Senna obviously didn't have the easiest of first couple of laps, but currently running in 2nd place and is reeling the gap down to our race leader at this point. He will need to run the medium tyres in the 2nd stint as well. Could be that the hard tyres maybe are just a little bit more suited to this circuit, in which case the momentum that he's got right now could actually be negated. There are a few tracks where the hards do seem to work a little bit better than the mediums because of tyre wear. After about 5 or 6 laps the mediums start to grain and start to go off a bit, and then that's when the hards do actually show their mettle, so it could be that being a factor here. But A. Thompson does seem to have extended the gap to Senna a little bit over the last couple in the last 2 sectors. The first sector Senna gained about 2 seconds on him. Obviously A. Thompson made a mistake, but the rest of that lap it would appear that A. Thompson just seemed to eke away from him ever so slightly, so maybe those medium tyres are still working and maybe it was just a bit of a mistake there from A. Thompson at the beginning of the previous lap. Sean though right on the back of Papasconcio instead of for 4th place. And these two both on the hard tyres on the fringes of the leaders. Much not there with the fastest lap of the race so far from P9 in this race, but he really does need a safety car in this one to get himself into some solid points. He's currently on course for 2 championship points as things stand. But we're watching the battle here for 4th place between Papasconch and Sean. As we can see, Papasconch with the DRS open, looks to the inside, but Papasconch goes late on the brakes. Sean though gets the run through the 2nd part of the corner and gets himself up into 4th place. Nice move there from Sean. That wasn't as easy as it looked like it was going to be coming into the braking zone. Papasconch tried to hold it around the outside, but it wasn't to be. The Haas is through into some clean air now. Gap at the front staying around the same between A. Thompson and Senna at this point, just about 3.5 seconds. It's been consistent over the last couple of laps now. Whereas Senna, I think, did gain a little bit on that lap, maybe about half a second actually he gained, so a fair bit he's gaining now. But obviously we'll see them swap tyre compounds for the 2nd part of the race, and maybe Senna's tyre wear might be a little bit more prevalent. I think that A. Thompson's best chance right now of being able to pull a gap or being able to put Senna under some pressure here is to, I would say, probably is put the hard tyres on as soon as possible. I would say A. Thompson's best hope of winning this race is put the hard tyres on at the end of this lap. Then you've got fresher tyres, you'll be able to pump in quicker lap times than Senna. That will then hasten Senna's urge to put his mediums on, and obviously the further he has to go on those mediums, the longer he's going to have to, the further he goes on them, the more pace he's going to lose at the end. So he's going to be a bit sort of stuck in a strategic kind of you're damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation. I think A. Thompson's got to force his hand here. I reckon if he puts those hard tyres on now and pumps a couple of quick laps in, it kind of forces Senna into a bit of a decision. Then he's got to decide, is he going to put the mediums on early and have worn tyres at the end, or is he going to wait and suffer and lose lap time and lose race time to A. Thompson in those couple of laps that A. Thompson has fresh tyres? That's what I think we're going to see pan out over the next couple of laps. Are we going to see A. Thompson adopting that strategy, or are we going to see him staying out for the time being? He's coming through the final few corners here. On lap 11, does he come in this time around? No. So he's staying out for the time being then. A. Thompson not pulling the trigger just yet. This battle for the lead. Obviously 2.5 seconds between those two. So Senna took another second there out of A. Thompson on that last lap. He is flying right now. Papa Squanch still over the back of Sean here in his battle for 4th place. Dino's still quite close on the back of T as well. Under a second between them. So Dino will have DRS through the next zones on this coming lap that they're about to start. And there's T into the pits here at the end of lap 11. So coming in for, I assume, a set of hard tyres that will take him to the end of the race. And he's the first driver of those one stopping to actually put the hard tyres on here in this race. So now we're sort of reaching that crossover point I was saying before. A. Thompson should really be doing that, but Senna has had a mistake. What's happened to Senna here? Senna's clearly had a spin or some small contact with the wall. He's still got his front wing, but he's had an incident there. He's now 7 seconds behind A. Thompson, and this could hand A. Thompson initiative. Obviously, Senna's got a stint on the faster tyre to come at the end of this race, but has clearly had an incident which has knocked him well off at the back of the race leader. So A. Thompson here with a great chance of winning tonight here in Miami. This is definitely going to hand him the initiative here. He's got to be the favourite at this stage in the race now with a 7-second gap over Senna. Senna's got the raw pace. He seems to have a bit more speed than him over the course of tonight, but that's now given A. Thompson a lot of breathing space here. And obviously A. Thompson won on his return to Motive last week at Jeddah for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Can he make it 2 wins in a row here tonight in Miami? He would absolutely love that, I'm sure, as he starts lap 13, continuing on his way on those medium tyres, so showing no signs of feeling the tyre wear yet, not coming in at this particular stage in the race. Also, got to keep an eye on Teza Muzza here, because he's only about, well, he's about 11 seconds off of A. Thompson. He's lapping slightly quicker than A. Thompson. He's a lot closer to Senna than he was. He's also on the medium tyre, so he's on the same strategy as A. Thompson is. I mean, Teza Muzza, he's gaining a little bit, but not really a whole lot. He's not setting the world alight at the moment in 3rd place. He's lapping slightly quicker than the top 2, but I mean, if Senna makes a mistake, he could get P2. It's going to be a real push. He needs a safety car, I think, to be in contention for the win. That's my personal opinion, because he's on the same strategy as A. Thompson. He's about 10.5 seconds behind him, so it would take something pretty special for Teza Muzza to be able to win this race. Let's say that. It's Freddie coming into the pits here at the end of lap 12. And Senna's just taking little chunks out of A. Thompson once again here. The gap now down to 6.5 seconds. Andrew Pittsmith has got a 3-second time penalty there for multiple track limit warnings. We're seeing that pop up on the screen there. But here we go, A. Thompson coming into the pits at the end of lap 13. So the race leader finally getting his medium tyres off, and he'll be able to go to the end on a set of hards. Now he's going to have to pace over Senna because he'll have fresher tyres. But Senna obviously is a little bit out of his ideal window at this point. Is he going to... I mean, you could probably go 15 laps on a set of mediums to the end, but it's a bit of a risk. I'd say your safe crossover point would be about lap 16, lap 17. Lap 18 would be pushing it a little bit far, I would say. Once you get to about lap 20, I think you start to think about putting the softs on. But we're a long way out from that yet. But Senna at the moment on the hard tyres. How far is he going to go into this race? Teza Muzza's now 4 seconds behind Senna. He's 8 seconds ahead of A. Thompson at this point. But let's see what A. Thompson does on these fresh hard tyres. Obviously, I said on paper he should be quicker than the top 2, being he's on fresher tyres, but it doesn't always work like that. He's coming on the back of V10 Ultra here as they're batting with P7. You can see him getting a little bit closer here to the back of him. DRS open there for T. he's just going a little bit late on the brakes there, trying to creep close to the back of him. Senna into the pits here, so he's covering A. Thompson off. Obviously, he was 7 seconds behind A. Thompson, or 6 or 7 seconds behind him before he came in, so he'll come out a little way behind him here. Here's A. Thompson coming over the start-finish line now to start lap 15, and Senna there just coming out of the pits in a second. So fresh medium tyres now for Senna. Now can he use those tyres to his advantage? The faster, fresher tyres here than A. Thompson. He needs to be able to use every bit of rubber he's got on them to try and hunt A. Thompson down here. A. Thompson, the net race leader, with Tezza Mazza still yet to pit off of his medium tyres, which he started the race on. I think for Tezza Mazza now, what he needs is a safety car. That's what he needs to get himself into this race, because then he can put a fresh set of hards on. Saying that though, I think everybody's going to lose. I think if there's a safety car now, I think Senna's guaranteed the race win. Personally, I can't see it going any other way. If he's on those medium tyres, those fresh mediums, and the safety car comes out, I think that he's got the race in the bag. Unless, of course, the safety car comes out on about lap 18, in which case I could potentially see Tezza Mazza putting the soft on, because then obviously you'd probably restart at about lap 20. You'd only have 9 racing laps, wouldn't you? So at that point, you know, you'd probably be in a prime position. Oh, the Mutts Nuts is out of the race. He's retired the car. We have got a safety car here, which is going to play into the hands of Senna because he's on those medium tyres. Are we going to see... I'll tell you what though, they've got a huge gap back to Dyno, so I reckon these guys have got a free pit stop here. I reckon all of the top 5 could come in for a free pit stop right now. The unfortunate thing with Tezza Mazza here is that he can't put the softs on because he's too far out, so he needs to put the hards on. So obviously Tezza Mazza comes into the box, hard tyres will be waiting for him. Sean coming in, and so is Papa Squanch. I would have thought that A. Thompson and Senna could have come in for a free pit stop, to be honest with you. They have a big gap back to Dyno. They'd have come out in the top 5. Could have had, well, to be fair, they've already got freshish tyres anyway, haven't they? So they wouldn't have needed to come in for another one. That's actually a bit of a silly statement there from myself. But Tezza Mazda there coming out on fresh hard tyres, running in 3rd place. Have they picked up the safety car? Not just yet. Oh yeah, they have now. So yeah, the safety car's now at the head of that queue. You can see A. Thompson, Senna, Tezza Mazda there, and then they're a long way ahead of Sean, who's in 3rd place. Dyno and V10 Ultra also coming into the pits to put some fresh tyres on. Pardon me, here at the end of lap 15. But none of you currently watching the stream here tonight at Motive, on the Motive Racing YouTube channel. Big warm welcome to everybody tuning in live here to the action. Obviously it's A. Thompson leading the race ahead of Senna. The pack all punched up now under the safety car, so it's going to be a close race to the flag. Senna, I think, has got the advantage here because he's on the fresh medium tyres, and obviously being so close to A. Thompson now, I think that A. Thompson's going to be a bit of a sitting duck here for Senna. In my opinion, I think that Senna has got to win this race from here. If he doesn't win this race, it's going to be a disappointing performance here from him. He has to take this opportunity and just he has to negotiate A. Thompson, and he has to drive off into the distance for me. This is a must-win for him now, with the way that this race has fallen into his lap essentially. But whether or not that's going to work out the way I prophesied there, we just don't know at this point. Tezza Mazza and A. Thompson, I think, are going to battle it out over 2nd place here. Whether or not Sean and Papa Squanch can put pressure on A. Thompson and Tezza Mazza for those podium places on their fresh medium tyres remains to be seen. Dyno on the fresh mediums as well could be a threat from P7, so don't rule him out of a podium. At top 5 though, I think is more realistic. But yeah, still 10 drivers left in this race. We start at lap 17, and I think it's probably going to be, we'll probably get going at the end of lap 18. So I think it's going to be an 11 lap dash to the flag. Everyone's got the tyres on that they need to get to the end, so no dramas there. But those on the mediums are definitely going to have the advantage over those on the hards. That goes without saying. And with the pack being so bunched up, it's a no-brainer that you're going to suffer if you're on those white wall tyres. But you never know, there could be another safety car before the end of this race, and that will then throw the race up in the air again, because you'll have people pitting. With so few drivers on the track as well, will somebody maybe, if we have a safety car, say in the after this, if we have another safety car, who's to say that somebody won't stick the softs on? With so few drivers left in the race, I think somebody might fancy their overtaking skills, starting what, P9, P10, and then just coming through on a set of fresh softs, blitzing past everybody. Yeah, it wouldn't be out of the question. Honestly, I could see it happening. In the meantime, Senna's just had his 4th disconnection of the evening, so let's get him back in. Ah, it says he's already back in, so hopefully that's not a lie. Having said that, he's still ghosting at the moment, so it would appear that he's not in control of the car at this stage. Ah, there we go. Right, it's letting me invite Senna, so hopefully he can get himself back in before the end of the safety car period. We're going to have one more lap after this. So yeah, it'll be an 11 lap dash to the checkered flag here in Miami for season 6 here at Motive. The 3rd race we've had here at Miami. Both of the Grand Prix that we've had here at Miami have been won by Joram. Season 4, he won it. It was the opening race of the season. He won it in dominant fashion. Last season we saw Senna putting him under some pressure. That was back when he was called Demspecki. We saw him putting him under a little bit of pressure for the win, but ultimately Joram just had the pace. Actually, last season was one of Joram's few appearances here at Motive. It was one of his reserve appearances last season here at Miami, and he absolutely blitzed it. So both races here at Miami, both Grand Prix have been won by Joram, but tonight we're going to see a new driver take their first win here at Motive on the streets of Miami, in the shadow of the Hard Rock Stadium here. But we're coming around on lap 18. We'll be getting going at the end of this lap, I'm sure, because everybody's bunched up. We should be getting the notification in a moment saying that the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. I'm not sure why it hasn't come up already, to be honest, because we're all here, we're all ready to, we're all raring to go. Everybody's kicking their legs up and saying, come on, let's get this underway, let's get this show back on the road. So here we go then, ladies and gentlemen, official confirmation there, the safety car's going to be pinning in, so we're going to be going once again here at the end of lap 18. It's going to be 11 laps to the flag here. A. Thompson ahead of Senna. They're all weaving around, getting their tyres up to temperature, getting the heat in them, because obviously you'll be needing that once we get underway. If those who don't do that warm-up will be finding themselves in a bit of trouble at the start otherwise. So here we are then, coming into the final couple of corners here, and then we should be underway in just a second. Here we go then, out onto the start-finish straight once again. A. Thompson's put his foot down, he's already well clear as Senna's coming under pressure here from Teza Muzza. And Teza Muzza looking down the inside into turn 1, can he make the move? Senna's just about holding it around the outside, they're still side by side. Senna does manage to maintain the position there by the skin of his teeth. Sean there in 4th ahead of Papa Squanch, followed by T. Dino all over the back of T on his fresh medium tyres. Oh, Dino's put it in the wall, and he's missing part of his front wing as well. As he's dropping down the order there, you can see that Vitan Ultra and Freddie have got ahead of him, so is Andrew. Dino's down to the back of the pack. What a nightmare of a restart there for Dino, but it's A. Thompson ahead of Senna, followed by Teza Muzza. They're the top 3 with Sean and Papa Squanch not too far off of them either. But A. Thompson does manage to hold on to the lead here. Senna, obviously on his fresh medium tyres, is going to have to pace over him in the final part of this race. But can A. Thompson stand tall, stand firm, and make his car as wide as he possibly can? These two quite evenly matched on pace, but Senna with the much faster tyres will surely have the ascendancy, and with a bit of DRS available to him in a couple of laps, shouldn't find this too difficult, surely. But V10 Ultra in the meantime, and T side by side. V10 Ultra just squeezing ahead of T, holding on to that position by the skin of his teeth, but T's looking to hunt him down. Freddie right on the back of these guys as well as they're coming through onto the back straight here. No DRS available this time around. This obviously would be the DRS zone usually as we're coming down it now, but V10 Ultra stood ahead of T and Freddie at the moment. A. Thompson though leading the race ahead of Senna with Teza Muzza right on the back of these guys. They're all nip and tuck at the moment. You find that the mediums don't have that much of an advantage over the hards around this circuit because of how high it is on the tyre deg and how hot it is as well. Generally you find that after about 4 or 5 laps that it starts to even itself out a little bit and the hards start to come back at the mediums. But Freddie here right on the back of T coming into turn 1. T holds that one for the time being. No dramas, no gain there for Freddie for the time being. But we've got to go back to the battle here for the lead because it's currently 7/10 of a second separating the top 3. A. Thompson holding on by the skin of his teeth. Senna though looking to try and pounce if he can. Tezamos is following them around. These 3 have already gapped Sean and Papasquanch by a little bit over the course of the first racing lap after the restart. But look at this, Senna is almost underneath the back of the AlphaTauri here. He's getting closer and closer to him here. The slipstream is proving to be still quite a bit of a gain here for Senna despite the no DRS on this second lap of the restart as he's getting closer and closer and closer, but a little bit too far back coming into the braking zone. A. Thompson's still got that one held on to. He's led this race since the early laps, since the drive-through penalties for obviously for Cameron and Pateza Mazza as well, but at the moment he's got heavy pressure here from Senna and Teza Mazza. Can either of these two nick the win from this man who has led most of this race tonight at Miami? Here we come down the back straight towards the final couple of corners. The DRS will be available on this next lap that they're about to start. And is that going to pay dividends for any of these drivers? Obviously Teza Mazza's not going to benefit too much because Senna will have DRS on A. Thompson, but Senna could be the major benefactor here from the DRS being opened in a few seconds time. As here we come out to the start finish straight. It's not going to be open this time, but it will be open the next DRS zone. When they come down the long back straight, that will be Senna's first opportunity to take the lead of this race. As you can see just how much pressure he's putting on the back of A. Thompson, but A. Thompson's not showing any signs of faltering at this point. Obviously the winners so far this season, we saw Cameron take the win in the first race of the season. We saw A. Thompson win last week at Jeddah for round 2. Are we going to have a third different winner this season, or is A. Thompson going to make it back-to-back wins here in rounds 2 and 3? Senna getting closer to the back of him there. Look at him go. He's almost tagging the rear of him there as Teza Mazza just loses a little bit of ground to these two over the course of the first sector, probably suffering a little bit from a turbulent air. But here's the DRS now for Senna as he's now going to pull out. He's going to pull to the inside as A. Thompson leaves the door open there. The DRS proving to be massively beneficial there for the Ferrari as he goes down the inside. A. Thompson powerless to do anything about it, but he's going to get a better run surely through this section of the track. Senna though completes the move up into the lead. Great stuff there from him, but A. Thompson can keep himself close here and might be able to use the DRS down the back straight. If he can get a good run coming out onto this long straight, then he'll fancy his chances for sure. Here we come then. Senna though leads by 7/10 of a second, so I think he's just about out of range for A. Thompson to be able to have a crack at him down the end of the straight. And Teza Mazza now has got the DRS on A. Thompson as well, creeping close to the back of him as they come down this section of the track. Here we go. A. Thompson getting closer to the back of Senna into the corner. Oh, he tags the rear of him a little bit as well for good measure. Now he's going to try and poke his nose up the inside. Senna's not going to be happy with that one because A. Thompson used a bit of a push to pass method there to get the lead of him. But here we come over the start finish line to start lap 22 of the race, and Senna there is going to be seething with that one, I'm sure, because A. Thompson definitely used a bit of his front wing there to just destabilise the back of Senna as Senna just returns the favour into turn 1. But this time around A. Thompson is able to survive, and Teza Mazza now looking to try and move ahead of Senna here as well. But obviously the medium tyres, the advantage of the medium tyres is now going to be starting to wear off a little bit for Senna. This is going to now play into the hands of A. Thompson and Teza Mazza ever so slightly here, but Senna still piling the pressure on the back of A. Thompson as we got the fastest lap of the race being set by Dino running in P10. He will get the fastest lap point as things stand on those fresh soft tyres. No surprise to see them clocking in the fastest time of the race so far. But here goes Senna once again, looking to the outside this time as A. Thompson sends it around the long way, but he gets it done around the outside brilliantly there with the straight line speed. But A. Thompson's not going it up. Oh, contact there between them. A. Thompson just keeping it there. There's still some inside. Oh no! And they've taken each other out. A. Thompson and Senna are going into each other. They both hit the tyre barrier, and that's another safety car. And Teza Mazza has been handed the race lead on a plate. But what was going on there? That was absolutely ridiculous. Handbags between the two of them. They got stuck together. They're both out of the race here on lap 22. That was ridiculous. But Teza Mazza leads the race ahead of Sean in second, with Papasquanch running in third place. V10 Ultra, YouTube Freddy, Andrew Pittsmith and T. And Dino will now move himself up into 8th place. We're going to have another safety car. Is anybody going to come into the pits for fresh tyres? Teza Mazza's coming into the pits because he knows he'll be a sitting duck otherwise, because surely most people are going to be coming in with so few drivers on the track. You can probably make up the places anyway. But Teza Mazza in, Sean and V10 Ultra also in. Papasquanch gambling here staying out on the medium tyres. That is a bit of a gamble, but with everybody else coming into the pits, I think Tezza's going to still come out in P2, so he's not going to lose anything here, is Tezza, really. Dyno's fresh soft tyres are now going to be negated because everybody else is also on fresh soft tyres. He needs to come in again, otherwise he'll have a disadvantage. 2 laps on the soft tyres gets you a fair bit of way. You do lose a bit of time after 2 laps on the soft tyres, so he would definitely be well advised to do that, and he is doing so. The Mux Nuts there has left the session. Haven't realised that he hadn't already left the session, to be honest. But Papa Squanch obviously rolling the dice, staying out on the medium tyres. Can that nick him a podium place? The question is, when's the safety car going to be coming in? I can't imagine it'll be staying out too long because there's not many drivers left in the race, so we're not going to be waiting too long, I don't think, for Dyno to pull up onto the back of the pack. I reckon it'll be a 5-lap race to the flag. The question is, how many positions can Papa Squanch limit this to in terms of how many he's going to lose, because on those medium tyres he's going to be an absolute sitting duck. But his pack of soft tyre runners behind him, Tezza, Sean, V10 Ultra, Freddie, Andrew, T and Dyno, there's 7 drivers other than him left in the race are all on fresh soft tyres, so I don't think he's going to stand a chance of keeping them behind him. Personally, I think he's going to be very vulnerable indeed here in the last couple of laps of this race. Seven of you still currently watching here this eventful Miami Grand Prix here tonight at Motive for Season 6 here on the EA Sports F1 game, round 3 of a 16 round season. Currently Papa Squanch taking a bit of a risk here, staying out on his medium tyres. As I said before, the chasing pack are going to be all over him as they're all on the fresh softs. Tezza Muzza, I think barring any major catastrophes in this final part of this race, has got the win in the bag. And he will become the 3rd different winner for this season so far, as long as you can see this one out. There we go then, official confirmation, safety car is in this lap. Papa Squanch has the lead, but for how long is he going to be able to survive here? I'd honestly be surprised if Papa Squanch is in the top 5 at the end of this race with 5 laps left to go. He's gonna have no defence for a load of drivers on much faster, much fresher tyres than himself. They're going to all have at least a second a lap of default pace over him before we even get going here. But here we are then, coming through the final section here at Miami. Obviously he's gone for it, he's rolled the dice. Let's see if it pays off. But here we go, out of the final corner, we're underway. Dyno's already got ahead of T, that's because T's coming into the pits at the restart. A bizarre time to come into the pits, but V10 Ultra has moved himself ahead of Sean there, but Sean's holding it around the outside. These guys are side by side, close racing between them. Sean just stays ahead there and maintains third place. Great driving there from those guys, getting their elbows out but Sean managing to keep onto that third place. But Tezamaza has managed to get ahead of Papasquanch straight away on this restart. Papasquanch is now vulnerable here to Sean, who's right on the back of him as well. I said that he's going to be a sitting duck for this pack of cars, and it looks like he's going to be here. Tez has already opened up a 1.3 second gap. He said bye bye guys, see you at the flag. And here goes Sean now trying to make a move here on Papasquanch. Papasquanch in absolutely no position to do anything about it here, as here comes V10 Ultra down the middle. Oh, great driving there from these guys. V10 Ultra there squeezing ahead as Papasquanch trying to hold it around the outside, but Sean squeezes him out there up into third as well. Sean goes a little bit wide there on the exit at that long right hander, but keeps it onto it and is up into third place. But V10 Ultra gaining 2 places there. What a move down the middle from V10 Ultra. And he's in second place now in this race. Can he hold on to it in the final couple of laps of this race? Papasquanch all the way down to 4th place here. And he's got Freddie now hunting him down. Freddie with no DRS, let's not forget, this time around. The DRS not open until lap 27. He's breezed past him like he's not even there. Freddie now up into 4th place. I said before, Papasquanch I'll be surprised if he's in the top 5 at the end of this race. He's currently 5th at the end of the first lap of the restart. So I think he'd be lucky to not finish last here. If it wasn't for T coming in at the start of the restart, I think he would be last. But I think as it is, he'll probably finish P7. But Tezamaza's got a 3-second gap right now over V10 Ultra. V10 Ultra's got Sean on the back of him. Freddie Papasquanch there has got Andrew hassling the back of him, but Dino also right with them as well. This cluster of cars here battling out over P5 as they come through the first sector here. You can see that Dino getting closer to the back of Andrew, tags him in the rear a little bit. Papasquanch there really wide, which is going to give Andrew a run. Still no DRS available this time around, so these guys will have to use the grunt. They're going to have to use the traction that they're getting out of these slow corners to with the fresher tyres to make the moves. Here goes Dino on Andrew up the inside, up into P6. Easy pickings there for him, with Andrew having a little bit of a correction coming out of that previous corner. Sean's got ahead of V10 Ultra here, up into 2nd place, but V10 Ultra's trying to come back at him here. Dino in the meantime has completed that move on Andrew. Papasquanch has now been given a bit of breathing space with these two battling behind him, but Sean back up into 2nd place ahead of V10 Ultra. It's all happening here in the closing stages of this race. As we watch the battle for P5 still raging on here. Papasquanch, Dino and Andrew Pittsmith here coming down the back straight. Dino getting closer and closer to the back of Papasquanch here, looking to the inside down the end of the long back straight. Is he going to look to try and send one up the inside? He's not for now at least. Oh, he's trying to go through it there. But Papasquanch keeping it around the outside for now. Great close racing here between these guys. V10 Ultra in the meantime has got ahead of Sean up into 2nd place. So that's another move there between these guys. These guys are having a great fight here out the front. Papasquanch still just ahead of Dino. Dino though looking to try and get a cut back as Sean has got back ahead of V10 Ultra again here. Unbelievable racing here. This is between these guys for 2nd place. They're currently well behind Tezamaza, who's checked out the front. As we've got MN99 in the comments saying this battle is so good, proper racing, it absolutely is. If you fancy getting involved in the action, www.motiveracing.com. You can be one of these guys out on track. You can pit your wits against some of the best out there. But currently Dino getting close to the back of Papasquanch here. Is he going to look to try and make a move into the next braking zone? DRS is now enabled there, which is going to give that Williams a little bit extra straight line speed. Looking to the outside into the braking zone. He's slightly ahead, but the outside is the harder part to get the move done. The Ferrari, they're holding it there, but Dino gets the move done around the outside into 5th place. Papasquanch could not hold it any longer there. Dino now into some clean air. Now can he try and chase down Freddie a couple of seconds up the road? He's currently about 3 seconds off of a podium place, but we've only got just over 2 laps left to go, so it might be a bit of a stretch for Dino to get himself onto the podium here. But with V10 Ultra, Sean and Freddie battling, it's not out of the question completely at this stage. Tezamaza in the meantime has said, see you later guys, I'm off, and he is now 8 seconds up the road. Sean down the inside as V10 Ultra trying to keep it there. Freddie now on the back of these guys as well. I'll tell you what, Dino could bring himself into the battle for the podium if these guys keep fighting each other like they are. V10 Ultra down the start finish straight, getting close to the back of Sean. Sean defending the inside line as he's trying to make this move. V10 Ultra, he's going to be really ballsy here. He's got the inside for turn 2 as well. Oh, this would be a great move if he can complete this one. No, he can't. Sean Vita Ultra went for a brave move around the outside. It didn't pay off. It could be that he's now vulnerable to Freddy. Freddy now trying to attack on the back of him as well here. These three still dicing it out for second place, but still no changes in the order between them. Sean and Vita Ultra and Freddy still as you were, but Dino is looming large in the background. You can see here running in P5. He's now within a second of this trio. He is getting closer and closer, and whilst they focus on each other, this man here could be sensing potentially even a second place, not just a podium here. What work he's done over the last couple of laps since the restart, but Sean still holding on for second place ahead of Vita Ultra and Freddy at the moment. Dino is getting closer and closer to this battle as we speak, but he did make a bit of a mistake coming out onto the back straight through the DRS zone, which just lost him a bit of momentum, but he is now pulling up back up onto the rear of this train once again here, and is now very much in this battle for second place. But here we go, down the back straight once again. Sean is the leader of this train. Vita Ultra potentially just a little bit too far away, I think, to make a move at the end of it. He's got the DRS, so he might be able to make a move. Here we go, riding on board with Vita Ultra, and he's going to look to the outside. He just gets there a little bit too late. Sean parks it on the inside. He's going to have to take a tighter line though, which will affect his run coming through the final corner. Vita Ultra here getting closer to the back of him. DRS will be open down the start finish straight as well here for Vita Ultra. There we go, getting closer now to the back of Sean. Looks to the inside into turn one, a little bit too far away. Sean's going to hold that one, surely. Vita Ultra still trying it though, but can't do it. Sean is still in second place. Unbelievable racing this is. Freddy's still trying to make the move here on Vita Ultra. Dino is still right there as well. What is going to happen on this final lap of the race? Sean is still clinging on to this one, as Dino maybe might sense a move here on Freddy. Freddy a little bit wide. Dino though can't make the move at the moment. Freddy's still holding on for fourth place. Sean knows gap Vita Ultra by just over a second through the first sector. Vita Ultra had a scrappy couple of corners there, which seemed to put Freddy off behind him as well, but still no changes in the order between these three. Freddy looking to the inside here on Vita Ultra, but no dice there for him. Dino's made the move on Freddy there up the inside. Beautiful move there from Dino up into fourth place. Mazza coming down the back straight for the final time, the race leader. Got a few corners left to go, but Dino there getting himself up into P4 right at the death. Is he going to get a podium here? I think he might have left his charge a little bit too late here. He's getting close to the back of Vita Ultra. Vita Ultra, I think, has actually just dropped out of the DRS to Sean, so this could be a chance for Dino, but he's just a little bit too far back. Mazza though has taken the checker flag here at Miami to take the victory. What a drive from him. In the final stint, he was absolutely untouchable. Sean coming around to take second place here in this one ahead of Vita Ultra, who actually loses out to Freddy on the penalty. So Freddy third, Dino fourth. Vita Ultra drops to sixth with the penalty, so Papa Sconch gets a P5 in the end. Vita Ultra P6. Andrew Pittsmith coming over to take seventh place in the end, and T will be the last driver over the line in eighth place. But a dominant drive from this man here, Mazza, who absolutely ran off into the distance right at the end there. And interesting to see the penalties had an effect on the classification there. So Freddy, in the end, got a podium out of it all. So well done to Freddy. Despite getting overtaken by Dino on the last lap, he still managed to get a top three. So massive congratulations to him. But also proper well done to Mazza here on a dominant win. And he becomes the third different winner of this season so far. And the championship lead, well, I think will be changing hands. I'm not quite sure who will have it at this point, but obviously with Mutsnuts' retirement, I'm pretty sure we will have a new championship leader after tonight. But yeah, three different winners from the first three races: Cameron, A. Thompson, and now Mazza. So this season really heating up quite nicely here at Motive for the F1 League here on the EA Sports F1 game. F1 23 here on the PlayStation platform for Season 6. But that is that, guys, from me. I want to say a big thank you to everybody watching this back afterwards. If any of you drivers did enjoy watching this back, please do smash the like button and share it with your friends, family members and otherwise associates. And we will see you next week for the F1 League. We'll be back for round 4. Same time as always, hopefully a bit earlier than we were this week. I was thinking about actually pushing back the start time to 7 and just opening the lobby at 6:45, pushing it back to 7, because we never start at 6:45, to be honest. And it will give more people a chance to join. But yeah, anyway. We'll discuss that in the staff chat, but for now, it's a big thank you from me. We will see you next week. We will be live from Imola, and it'll be a sprint race as well for that one. Sprint race followed by a Grand Prix. That'll be exciting. But yeah, cheers everybody once again. We'll see you very soon. Take it easy, and good night.